Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be discussing why you're hitting your forehands long. Now, hitting the ball long is one of the most common mistakes in tennis, especially on the forehand side. And there can be a variety of reasons why you're hitting the ball long. But in today's video I'm going to discuss the 3 most common reasons why you're going to be hitting your balls long. And I'm also going to give you advice and tips how to adjust your technique to ensure that you stop hitting the ball long and you start hitting them inside the court more consistently. So tip number 1 is to stop opening up your non-dominant shoulder as you come into contact. So for a right-hander, that's your left shoulder opening up too early. For a left-hander, that's your right shoulder opening up too early. So I'm going to go and hit some balls and you can see why this is an issue and what happens to my strings when I open up my left arm too early. So there guys, I hope you could see that when I was coming into contact and lifting up, drawing my left shoulder away and lifting up my head, my strings open up. So they're pointing up to the sky. As my racket head speed increases as I come into contact, having that racket head facing up means that all of my racket head speed is going to send the ball flying up high. And you can see there all of my shots are going considerably far long. So now guys, I'm going to hit some balls where I'm keeping my left arm and my left shoulder engaged and to the side of the ball. I'm not opening up too early, I'm just allowing my left shoulder and arm to rotate naturally as my racket rotates forward as I swing into the shot. So let's see the difference. So you can see there, I was keeping my head still, down. I was watching my strings as I made contact with the ball. My left shoulder was pointing to the ball as it was incoming, and I was then rotating my body, my upper body, as one unit together with my hitting arm. I wasn't letting this one go and do its own thing. I was working together with my body, my right side and my left side. This will really help you to keep the ball under more control. You're allowing your racket head to do the work for you, and you will be able to see the real difference in your trajectory and also your consistency. So reason number 2 as to why you're hitting the ball out too often is because you're off balance when you're hitting your shots. You're moving off the ball instead of getting your body weight onto the ball. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by falling off of the shot. And I want you to see if you maybe do this with your forehand, and then I'm going to show you how we can improve that. So I'm sure you could see there that as I was falling off of my shot, again, my strings were coming into contact with an upward facing racket head. So there, all of my racket head speed as I come into contact was making the ball fly upwards. So I was drawing, so my body weight was coming off the ball, my head was moving away from the ball, and this then there causes that open racket head. So when you're under pressure, when your opponent makes a deep ball and puts you under pressure and you have to move back, don't just kind of stand your ground there and come off balance. What you need to do is you need to move yourself back before the ball has bounced on your side of the court to then give yourself enough time to adjust your feet and adjust your positioning to then come forward onto the shot so you don't feel rushed. So now let's have a look at what you should be doing, how you can correct your mistake from hitting the balls too long on these shots where you're falling off of the ball. So on those forehands there, you could see that I was throwing myself balls that were a little bit deeper than the baseline, and therefore I had to move myself back into position before I was then able to move my body weight forward. So as I was throwing my ball back, I was moving myself back, I was allowing the ball to bounce and come up. And because I gave myself that time to be behind the ball, I was then able to move forward and get my body weight into the shot as I made contact. So that's the real tip here, guys, is to move those feet, get yourself back behind the ball, give yourself time, allow the ball to drop into your strike zone and move forward into the shot. Keeping your head still in contact here and allowing your back leg to rotate into the shot here is really, really critical. So if you don't have the time to rotate into the shot, then at least stand your ground here. We don't want to be falling off that shot. Okay guys, so the last reason why you might be hitting your forehands long is because you're gripping your racket too tightly. Okay, so holding your racket too tightly doesn't allow your forearm to be able to produce the correct range of motion to produce top spin, to get under the ball and to get that ball high over the net and into the court. So I see a lot of players, they're gripping their racket very, very tightly, and then that there leads to a stiff forearm and a stiff wrist, which doesn't allow your wrist and forearm to move freely at contact, and you end up again with this open racket head position here into contact. So instead, you want to have a quite nice and loose grip to allow your forearm and your wrist to do the work at the contact point. So out of 10, if 10 is holding as hard as you can, try and hold your racket about 4 or 5. So let's see some shots where I'm hitting with a really, really strong wrist. I'm trying to hold the racket as much as I can. So there, I just feel my arm is super, super tight. I don't have the freedom and the looseness that I need to allow my racket head to do the work for me. So there, I felt like I'm just too tight. I'm trying to force the ball off of my strings, and that's why those balls are flying long. So let's see instead now, I'm going to hold my racket at about 4 or 5 tension, and we're going to see the difference in my shots. So you can see there my ball was going inside the court. I was really, really nice and loose with my racket. I was letting my arm do the work. So a lot of you might be holding your grip too tight because you feel like you want to control the ball over the net. But this isn't going to result in a high quality ball. Try and stop being so in control of your racket and stop holding it so tight, and then that will therefore lead you to gaining more control in your shots. So lose control to gain control. So guys, that was a quick run through of 3 reasons why you're hitting the ball long and some tips to help you try and improve that. So if you like this video and found it helpful, then please give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel for more tennis videos to come like this one. And guys, if you're struggling with your forehand and want some help, then down in the description box, I actually have a free resource for you guys called the Forehand Blueprint. So in that free guide, you're able to download it in the link below. The free guide explains step by step the key fundamentals of the forehand technique, and it gives you visual aids and tips on how to perfect each stage of the forehand stroke. So guys, go and download that below to start improving your forehand today. I'll see you guys in the next video.